Okay, so now we're going to go on to our font group. And the font group is just as it says, it deals with our font. So if you look in the font group, it deals with everything that we need to enhance our text or our fonts. Okay, and so right here, once again, when we see an arrow, that means we have options. This right here, this box is for us to change our font. Now we would see that in this cell right here, we have the word Apple. It's right now in Calibri, okay? But if you want to change your font in Excel, all you have to do is click the arrow, or if you know your font out of your head, you can begin typing it in this box, and then you can change it. So for example, let's say I want to change it to this Arial rounded bold. Notice that it gets a bit darker, so it changed. If I click here, let's say I want to change it to let's see something a bit more pronounced, like this here. Okay, so you can change your font by going to the font group and clicking this font bar. Okay, once again, if you know it well enough, you can begin typing, erasing what's there already, and you can begin typing the font that you want and press enter. And when you do it, it will change as well. Okay, so that's how we can change our fonts in Excel. If we go over to the right, we have a number here. This is for us to change our size. And if you put your mouse over it, it'll tell you what it is. Okay, so right now the size is at 11. Let's say I'm going to click the arrow right here. We have options again, and I scroll down, and I can change it to either larger number. The higher up you go, the larger the text. The smaller I go, the smaller the text. Okay, so let's say I want to change it to about 20. As I change it to 20, you'll see that it also changes here. So you can increase and decrease your font in that way. Once again, you can also type it in the box and press enter. Because for example, you may be doing a worksheet where none of these numbers are the size that you want. Okay, for your Excel spreadsheet, and you want things to look very nice, very parallel and everything. And so you decide that, okay, 48 and 72 is too much of a big jump. So you may want to do, let's say, a 50 or something. Like if you have a major header or something like that, you may want to do that. So you can type in the font size that you want by clicking in that box, erasing it, and typing in your font size. Now this Apple right here, what I have typed, that's not a header. So I don't want it too big. I can put it to, let's say, font size 12, which is standard, and I press enter, and it changes to 12. Okay, so you can also do it that way. The beautiful thing about Microsoft Office, there are so many ways that you can do things. If you go over to the right here, we have another way how we can increase and decrease our font size. We have a capital A here, which is a bigger A than this one. This one here is increase font size, and this one here is to decrease font size. So instead of using the number box, you can also use this. Okay, and the more times you click it, the bigger it gets if you use the increase font feature. And notice as you do that, this is also changing to show you where you are. Okay, and then you can also decrease it. All right, and as you go, it will show you where you are. So we are back to font size 12. So that's two ways that you can increase and decrease your font size. Okay, now some Excel spreadsheets and softwares, it would have like decrease, no, sorry, not decrease. It'll have like grow font size and shrink font size. You may see that maybe in Microsoft Word, you see, but right here it has increase and decrease. Okay, then if we come down here, we'll see the B. This B stands for bold. Okay. Now, anyone who uses Microsoft Word or so, you are very familiar with this here. So the bold feature, if you want something a bit darker, you can press it and notice it changes from that thin text to a bolder, darker text. Okay, and if you want to take it off, you can always just click it again and it will deselect it. Okay, and it will remove any changes. Once again, if you click something and you decide you don't want it there anymore, just click it again, and it can remove it. Make sure what you want adjusted is selected. You will know it's selected by seeing the box surrounded by it or the box being highlighted. Okay? Right here is our italic feature, so it will give us a more slanted look. So if you want Apple slanted, it's going to give you a more refined and slanted look if you use italics or italicized. Right here we have our underline feature. Okay, so if you want to put an underline in your text, all you have to do is click this feature. We have an arrow here, so that's right, we have options. Let's click here, and then you can have the option of underline or double underline. Some people with the older versions may not have these two features. You may just have a standard underline, but that's fine. Okay, unless you really want the double underline. Okay, and then we click double underline, and you'll see you can get that option there, and it will underline your text. Okay, and I'm just going to deselect all of that. And then if we go right here, we have our border features, and you would have heard me speak about borders earlier. Okay, so let's say for example you want these to have borders, or you want it to look like it's in a table. Okay, all we need to do is highlight our text, left click, hold and drag, and release to highlight. Okay, and we can go here, and you have so many different options. You have your bottom border, where you'll only get the bottom with the border, only the top with the border, the left side with the border, right side with the border, no border at all if you want to deselect it in this regard, all borders, outside borders, thick box border, and if you go down, you have even more options. So you can be as picky as you want. Okay, so right here, I just highlighted what it is that I wanted, and I want to make it look like a table. So I can easily click all borders right here, and it will give it to me in like a table format. Okay, so that's how you can make things look as if it's in a table, or if you just want it like that for a particular style, you can do that by using the borders feature. Now, if you just wanted top border, all you have to do is click top border, and it will do that as well. However, we already have that there. So we already have everything selected. So what we'll do is we can click no border, and then as it's selected, we can click top border only. And when you go, you'll see that it's only a top border. And you can do that with each of those, which you see right here. If we look right here, we see a capital A with a color underneath. That means to color our text or font color. Okay, so let's say you don't want the standard black. You decide you want to do something different. You click on whichever cell that you want affected, or group of cells, your range, depending on what it is you want. And then you're just going to click the colors here. Now, whatever color is in here by default, if you click it, you'll receive that color. For example, I'm just going to click the A, and notice it has red underneath, so it just gave me red. But if you want to change it a certain color, you can click the arrow here because you have options, and you can choose your color from here. Okay, now these are our theme colors, and these are standard colors here, and it's showing you recent colors, which I may have used before. And then if you decide even here that, okay, none of these colors are the shade that I want, you can click more colors. When you click more colors, you'll get a gradient. And from here, you can choose whichever color you want, left click, hold and drag, and just go round and round, or and you can find whatever it is you need from there. Okay, so right here we have our red. Let's say I want to change it to that red, or I want to change it to purple. And from here you can also adjust whether you want it a lighter purple or darker purple. So it's up to you to change it as you want, and you'll see the color that you are choosing right here. Okay. And then you have all of these other things. You have grayscale slider in this version. So you can even adjust it as more ways that you want. You have these right here. You can do it that way as well. You have a spectrum in this version, and then you have all of these different Crayola looking crayons that you have right here in this version. Now, not all versions may have this, but that's no problem. You could always just use the gradient that you have. They work the same way, okay? And then when you find the color that you finally want, and you adjust it as light or dark as you want, you can press OK, and it will change the color for you. So once again, you can click a piece of the text, and then you can choose whichever color you want from here, or if you want to adjust it even more, you can click more colors. Okay, so if you want to change that one to orange, you can click orange and you'll see it will change. Now this one here is a bit different. Okay, this here is for your cell color. Okay, and they also call it fill color. So when we say your cell color, we're talking about the background of your cell right there. Okay, so instead of you coloring your text, you're going to be coloring the cell itself. So you're going to be filling it with the color. Okay, so let's say, for example, I want this cell in the background to be a certain color. Okay, I'm going to choose that color. I encourage students to use light colors so that it doesn't conflict with your text color. Okay, because when you, for example, if you're sending a spreadsheet off for other people to work on, you don't want it to be, to a point where they can't see the text. So you want to just make sure that you choose a light color and with a color that's actually going to complement it and not make it look weird. Okay, so if you want to change the background of your text, you can do that like that. It also adds some creativity. I love to work with colors in Excel, and you can do it like that. Okay, so that's how you change the background color of your cells. Use the fill color feature, and to change the color of your text, you use the font color feature. Okay, so that is our font group. We would have touched on everything. Once again, this is our font bar, font size, your increase and your decrease. This is your bold, italicize, your underline. This is your border feature, your fill color, and your font color. And once again, when you have arrows, you have options. So take a look at them. All right, so next we're going to be moving on to our alignment group.